Okay, so let's talk the first few months of dating a fearful avoidant attachment style and really like the must knows that tend to win them over as you're getting to know them. So, here are some really important things. And honestly, I think if these things are not present in dating and building a relationship with a fearful avoidant, it is highly unlikely that the relationship will ever make it out of the dating stage and into the honeymoon stage, which is when there's really some sort of commitment established between two people. So, first things first. I think we have to start by just talking about the fact that there are four pillars of connection, and fearful avoidants have a really unique relationship to all four pillars. So there is in every relationship that's romantic, there's a romantic connection pillar, there's an emotional connection pillar. Romantic is like romantic gestures, right? Words of affirmation, compliments, but it's also things like flowers or notes or, expressing romantic chemistry, right? Like just having that sort of spark and flirtation, like all those things alive in a relationship. Emotional connection is like our ability to be vulnerable, to share in our world, to dig deep, and to really like let somebody in, and vice versa, to make somebody feel seen and known and understood by, asking them questions to get let into their inner world. Then we have our intellectual connection pillar, which is like sharing your opinions, thoughts, ideas, philosophies, the things you're learning, talking about facts, like this kind of pillar. And then we have our physical pillar, which is really physical and sexual intimacy, but it's also um, physical space and proximity. Like, how do you let somebody into your home? How many nights a week do you spend with them, going on dates or hanging out together? These kinds of things. And of course, physical touch. Now, fearful avoidants uniquely tend to have a pretty even need for all of these pillars. I would say, if anything, they're really prioritizing, they really want to feel like emotional connection pillar is usually the biggest, followed by, sort of a toss up between physical connection and intellectual connection pillar, both being extremely meaningful to fearful avoidance, which is actually a common misconception, how important being analytical and being able to share opinions and ideas actually is for a fearful avoidant. And then, of course, physicality is important too. And then if those three pillars feel like they are satiated, if it feels like they're all working and there's harmony and deep connection across those three pillars, then they'll move towards a romantic connection. And usually that romantic piece is something that kind of comes last for them if they feel like those first three pillars are fitting well. Okay. But it's still important to them. So, it's funny because you'll usually see like anxious attachment styles kind of prioritize romantic and emotional connection and then sort of move into physical connection and then intellectual connection. Dismissive avoidants are very intellectual based the vast majority of the time. And then if they feel comfortable, then maybe they'll move into physical and then eventually emotional. And then romantic is always something they can sort of work on and usually something that they may struggle with until they become securely attached. So these pillars will matter and they tend to actually present different priorities to different attachment styles. So that's the first piece, is just understanding that fearful ones like to connect in a variety of ways and they all find those ways meaningful and valuable. The second thing is when you're starting to date a fearful avoidant, you have to be present when you're spending time with them. If you are not, it's one of the fastest ways to lose the fearful avoidance and have them slip through your fingers if you're really interested in them, because they see presence as an act of connection and one of the singular most important acts of connection. Number three, you really want to make an effort with a fearful avoidant to ask meaningful questions, to not be superficial, and to, fearful avoidance, if you're beating around the bush, you're kind of touch and go yourself, it's just going to cause them to spiral and shut down and sort of sabotage. So they also want somebody who's making an effort, who's clearly interested, stating that, being very direct. And then also they want to know that like you're not just going to be the superficial person. They don't do that well with small talk. They don't do that well with, superficiality in general, gossip, things like that. It might be like an easy way to connect with somebody if you don't have a better way because you're feeling really stuck in that area, like to talk about your coworkers if you work together. But really, that's not going to be something fulfilling for a fearful avoidant long term. It's going to be something that generally ends up being just feeling like the relationship is limited. So really, asking deeper questions, being meaningful in the way that you're conversating and communicating, having that depth is just so important to a fearful avoidant. And then we have another really important one. I'm going to actually save the best for last. So this is number four, novelty. Novelty is big for fearful avoidance. If you're always like, you just meet them and then you're always doing the same old thing all the time, they'll probably get bored. And novelty doesn't have to be that you like always try something really crazy and different every single date. Like one date you have to go skydiving, another date you have to go race car driving. I don't mean that. I mean, ask new questions, try a new restaurant, go do one thing for a date one day, like go for a walk or a hike, and then another day go for dinner. Like having a little bit of the ability to change things up and to change the approach is a huge way that fearful avoidants tend to connect. They don't do that well with things being too repetitive or monotonous. It's just not really how their personality works. Now, before I get to number five, I just want to let you know if you want to go way deeper than just this simple YouTube video here, we actually have a course called it's actually called the Fearful Avoidant Across the Six Stages of Relationships or Advanced Fearful Avoidant course. It gives the whole roadmap to a fearful avoidant, how they're going to show up in the dating stage versus honeymoon stage versus power struggle stage, all the different things that are going to come up in the different six stages. I just told you three. It goes stability, commitment, and bliss stages after. But it tells you everything, all the details, the ins and outs, the nuances, the triggers, how to move through those triggers, how to heal if you are the fearful avoidant. Like it just is the whole roadmap to everything. And you can check it out fully for free. Just for a limited time. We do this twice a year, which is a full 14-day free trial to the personal development school. It gives you access to all the courses. This is a really great one to check out if you want to go deeper. And we have it for every attachment style. And you can go in, download course materials, workbooks, all that stuff. And you can come into our events. We have events every day, Monday through Saturday. Whether it's a webinar with me, you can come on video, ask questions, type your questions in the chat, whatever you prefer. And there's just a lot of opportunity for ongoing support in there. We have webinars literally every day. We have smaller peer support groups. So again, it's all free. Just for a limited time, we do this twice a year. I'll put the link down below so you don't miss it. Last but not least, transparency. If you are trying to connect with a fearful avoidant and you are not transparent, if there's like dishonesty or incongruency, it's just if it feels like you're always hiding things or you're too private or you're not like open with them, then they won't trust you. And if they don't trust you, they'll sabotage the relationship before it ever gets off the ground. So having that ability to be transparent, I don't mean you have to tell somebody your whereabouts 24/7 and be controlled. That's not what I mean at all. I mean, share a little bit about your inner world, share about what you're looking for. If you have to change plans, at least tell them why, right? Don't just say, I'm not coming tonight. Sorry. Say, hey, I'm not coming tonight. I really don't feel good, but I'd love to see you later this week. Like those kinds of things where it feels like they're included in what's going on for you in your life, or your sort of regular day to day, because that helps them feel like they understand you, they know you, and that you're safe to connect to. And that will ultimately be a huge thing that grows the relationship long term. Okay, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like, share, subscribe to this channel. I put daily videos out here to support you in anything that you might be going through. If you need any kind of new daily resource, and let me know any comments or questions you have down below, and I'm happy to make content accordingly. Thanks for stopping by.